there's a saying in boxing, you're only as good as your last fight. And before Bradley's last fight against Provodnikov and Marquez's last fight against Pacquiao, I would have said that Tim Bradley will beat Juan Manuel Marquez via unanimous decision, that he will outbox him. Why? Because if you look at Tim Bradley's career, if you've watched his fights closely like I have, if you've seen him outbox people, not out brawl, not out pressure, not out hustle, but outbox people like Luis Abregu, like Lamont Peterson, like Junior Witter. If you've seen him do those kind of things, you'll know that Tim Bradley has a good jab, that he's got quick feet, right? And that he has a good boxing brain. And that Juan Manuel Marquez, even though he's looked impressive against an overly aggressive fighter in Manny Pacquiao was a southpaw. He comes right to Marquez. He also has short arms like Marquez. Bradley's got much longer arms than, I think 2 or 3 inches or maybe 4 inches longer than Marquez's arms or his reach. So, Pacquiao is one particular style, a southpaw. Southpaws are most vulnerable to the straight right hand, which is Marquez's best punch. All right. So although Bradley may have lost to Pacquiao, in my opinion, and in most people's opinions, I feel style-wise, he has the better tools to deal with Marquez. All right, because if you watch the Abregu fight and stuff like that, he's able to outbox Abregu. Abregu's a good fighter, much bigger than Marquez. Abregu has power too. So yeah, before Bradley's fight against Provodnikov and before Marquez's fight against Pacquiao, I would have said that Bradley will be able to outbox Marquez. Marquez is a bit slow on his feet. He relies on you coming to him with, like I say, Pacquiao with his short arms. Pacquiao, in order for Pacquiao to land a punch on Marquez, he has to be within Marquez's punching range. And that's where Marquez can get his counters off. How many times have you seen Marquez land the right hand counter on an orthodox fighter as often as he did on Manny Pacquiao? He don't tend to find that punch as easy to land against orthodox fighters. So yeah, I just thought the movement of Bradley, the longer reach, would be able to offset Marquez, and Bradley would basically give Marquez nothing to counter. He'd be outside his reach, using his legs to get away. He's an orthodox fighter, not a southpaw, so the right hand is not as open for Marquez to land. So yeah, that's how I would have seen it before both of these guys' last fight. But their last fights have definitely changed my opinion, and they had to, because in Bradley's last fight, he showed vulnerability that he's never shown before. Bradley's been in there with big punches like Manny Pacquiao, Kendall Holt, and although he was dropped by Kendall Holt, he was never seriously hurt the way he was against Provodnikov. All right, he got dropped hard by Kendall Holt in the first round, but he jumped right back up. He didn't even seem hurt, and he went right back at Kendall Holt. In the Pacquiao fight, he took Pacquiao's best shots without even going down. So before the Provodnikov fight, I would have assumed that even if Bradley does get sloppy, because he does get sloppy sometimes, even in the fights where he boxes well, he does get sloppy now and again. But I would have thought that even if Bradley does get sloppy now and again against Marquez, and gets caught with a few shots here and there, he'll be able to take Marquez's power, because he's took Kendall Holt's power, he took Pacquiao's power, he'll be able to take Marquez's power. That's what I would have thought, right? But against Provodnikov, he was so vulnerable. He was getting hurt constantly all the way through the fight. He was out on his feet. We've never seen Tim Bradley like that before. We've never seen him look that vulnerable before. He looked like Amir Khan in there, stumbling around the ring on jelly legs. He was like Amir Khan. We've never seen him look that vulnerable. Now, I don't know whether that was to do with Provodnikov just being an incredible puncher. I don't know if it was to do with maybe Bradley losing the weight too quickly, because he blew up in weight after the Pacquiao fight. I don't know if it was to do with him losing the weight too quickly, to get down to 147 to fight Provodnikov. I don't know what it was. And also I have to factor in the punishment that he took in the Provodnikov fight. Will his punch resistance ever be the same again? Has his chin been cracked for good? Because that sometimes does happen to fighters. Provodnikov himself said that he believes the referee in their fight ruined Bradley's career, because he believes that the damage he did to Tim Bradley in that fight is going to stay with Tim Bradley forever, right? That's Provodnikov's take on it. He believes that the referee should have stopped it in the first round, and that because he didn't, Bradley took so much punishment that he'll never recover from it. And I don't know if he's right or not. We'll have to wait and find out how Bradley's career pans out, but he took a hell of a lot of punishment in that fight, no question about it. So there's a lot of unknowns, going into this fight. What the hell happened in the Provodnikov fight? Why was he so vulnerable? And will he be able to get over that type of punishment? And going over to Marquez, before he fought Pacquiao for the 4th time and even the 3rd time, he was, down at lightweight, having wins over people like Michael Katsidis. But Michael Katsidis is no Tim Bradley, all right? Michael Katsidis don't have any boxing skills. Not on the level of Tim Bradley. No way. Michael Katsidis couldn't outbox Luis Abregu. He couldn't outbox Lamont Peterson. person, and that's exactly what Tim Bradley did. Michael Katsidis couldn't outbox Junior Witter, and that's exactly what Tim Bradley did, right? So yeah, he was able to beat Michael Katsidis. He stopped him late. I don't think he even dropped Katsidis in that fight. He wasn't even able to drop him. I think he stopped him in the was it in 8th or 9th or 10th round, something like that. He stopped Michael Katsidis quite late. So Marquez has always had decent power, but nothing spectacular. He's never been a knockout artist, all right? And obviously he had the fights with Pacquiao, several fights with Pacquiao. He's never able to drop Pacquiao. But suddenly in the 4th fight with Pacquiao, he turns up. I mean, imagine Marquez in a 20-year career, Marquez has barely even had a 6-pack for most of that 20 years. And all of a sudden in the 4th Pacquiao fight, he turns up looking like Mr. Universe with a 6-pack, chiseled, bulging muscles at damn near 40 years of age. Apparently he says it's because he got with a nutritionist for the first time. And I'm just stating the facts here, people. I ain't speculating. I'm just telling you what the facts are, right? He damn near 20 years, this guy never had a physique like this, and at nearly 40 years of age, he turns up looking like Mr. Universe with this nutritionist who used to be a PED supplier, and all of a sudden he has this one-punch knockout power. Now people say, oh, it was because Pacquiao walked into the punch. No, it wasn't because Pacquiao walked into the punch, because he dropped Pacquiao with one punch a couple rounds earlier, and Pacquiao didn't walk into that punch. So Marquez's power was legitimately stronger than it was in the previous fights. And when I say legitimately, I'm not talking about, he necessarily did it clean. I'm just saying that it wasn't an optical illusion that his power was better in the 4th fight. It really was better. He was even knocking out sparring partners. I saw footage of him knocking out sparring partners before the Pacquiao fight, before the 4th Pacquiao fight. Now, I'm not trying to take away from Marquez's victory. I'm not trying to take away from his previous performances against Pacquiao, because I believe that he won 2 of the first 3 Pacquiao fights anyway. So it's not about that. I'm just dealing with the facts and trying to explain to you my thought process going into the Bradley fight. So Marquez has all of a sudden discovered this, tremendous punching power, and his body is bigger than ever, and he looks more cut than he's ever been in his entire career. And on top of all that, going into this fight with Bradley, he has refused to undergo VADA testing. That's right, he's refused to undergo VADA testing. Tim Bradley insisted that they take the VADA testing. He wanted to, have an independent testing organization, VADA, do Olympic style testing. Marquez flat out refused it. All right. So make of that what you will. He flat out refused it. And basically Bob Arum seems to have strong-armed Tim Bradley into going forward with the fight, because Tim Bradley was on the verge of pulling out if he didn't get the VADA testing. And, he was like, I'm not happy with the situation. Bob Arum came in and said, we're going to get the Nevada State Athletic Commission to do the random testing. If Marquez don't mind doing random testing, then why is he avoiding VADA? Why does he want to go with the Nevada State Athletic Commission? This is the question you have to ask yourself. I don't know. I have my own personal views, but I'm sure already know what they are. So there's no point in going into that. So yeah, there's serious question marks about this fight for me, because like I say, you're only as good as your last fight, and Marquez turned into a massive puncher in his last fight out of the blue, and Bradley turned into some guy who looked very vulnerable, who looked a bit chinny in his last fight, and he was definitely not sticking to a game plan. He was definitely trading when he should have been boxing. It's a hard fight to predict based on their last 2 performances. Before their last 2 performances, I would have definitely said Bradley by unanimous decision. But after, what happened in their last 2 fights and the situation with Marquez refusing testing, I just got to sit on the fence, to be honest with you, because I don't know who the hell is going to turn up in the ring. Right? I don't know who's going to turn up in the ring. But like I said, I do believe Bradley has the boxing skills to beat Marquez. Definitely. That I will tell you. I just don't know whether he has the chin anymore to withstand this newfound one-punch KO power that Marquez has, right? Because even if Bradley's in there, doing his thing, jabbing, moving, and making it difficult for Marquez to land, yeah, maybe if Bradley's putting rounds in the bank and all those kind of things, he might be doing that very nicely for 3-4 rounds, and then, he slips up one time or gets wild one time, and Marquez lands this new killer, punching power on Bradley's chin, and the fight could be over. That could take place, but I expect Tim Bradley, from a technical point of view, from a boxing point of view, to, I wouldn't say dominate the fight, right? Because Marquez is a very good boxer, but I just feel Marquez's feet are a bit slow at the age that he is now, especially at 147 pounds where he's carrying extra weight, which is not really natural for his frame. I just feel that he's going to struggle with Bradley's foot movement a little bit in his jab, but Bradley may struggle with Marquez's punching power. We'll have to wait and see, but I do feel, like I keep saying, Bradley does have the skills and the ability to outbox Marquez. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, even though You know, even though before Bradley fought Provodnikov and Marquez fought Pacquiao for the 4th time, even though I would have picked Bradley by unanimous decision, I wouldn't have necessarily said it would be a wide unanimous decision. It would probably be a very close unanimous decision. Might even be a majority decision. But like I say, after both these guys' last 2 fights, it's totally changed the way I look at this whole situation. So I got to sit on the fence. I can't even make a prediction. But you know, that's basically my breakdown of the fight. That's my thought process going in. That's how I see this 2 styles gelling. I see Bradley having a bit more success with the boxing and Marquez having to play catch up a little bit. Oh yeah, and another thing before I forget, Marquez's team have also requested that there be a rehydration clause in the contract, right? Tim Bradley is not a big welterweight, but Marquez's team want a rehydration clause. So he can't be over a certain weight. Now, I'm not sure if that rehydration clause is actually being enforced, but I do know that Marquez's team did ask for it and they did want it. So if that goes ahead, if that isn't actually in the contract, then will Tim Bradley be 100% strong in the fight? Could that rehydration clause affect his punch resistance even more? See, these are all the variables going into the fight. There's so many things to think about. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be angry for me even voicing an opinion. For me even laying out the facts, because that's all I did in this video. I laid out facts. I didn't even speculate. I just laid out facts. So if people are angry with the facts, you know, that's it. You have to take that issue up with yourself. Yeah, are you a fanboy? Can you be objective? Because I ain't got no agenda here. I've got no agenda. I'm just being 100% objective. So yeah, anyway, leave your comments in the comment section below. This is Hatman. I'm out.